The world is talking about the Israelite foreigners. What shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead?
Yeah, like
parable that Apostle Gabar read.
Yeah, because the son found himself among the pigs. He got a job taking care of the pigs because he blew his whole inheritance. That's
he took that lowly. He took that lowly, humble. That's why Paul's going to say that.
Yep.
Boast not yourself against the natural branches.
That's okay. Why, I'm sorry. That's why his senses came to him when he was eating the slop that the pigs was eating. That's when his senses said, "Man, I got a father that got all kind of riches, and I'm here sitting with these pigs eating the slop."
Right, from life from the dead.
He was saying that even the servants of his father's house ate better than that.
16 verse, Romans 11 verse 16. For if the first fruit be holy, going back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the lump is also holy. So the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are holy. Even the ones that broke off and became unclean, didn't circumcise their children, ate pork, bowed down to idols, went to the place of exercise butt naked, put a hat on their head, and they made them put on a hat. Hey, them guys they were following the ways of heathens, man. That first of all, if they would have said, "Take your garments off," I said, "Man, I ain't taking my garment." Well, you can't. Well, I ain't gonna come in. Yeah. Then you take your garments off. Then he said, "Play the game." You got to play the game. I said, "I ain't playing that game." What if they told you to eat pork, man? Are you gonna eat pork? You guys, man, you spent all that money to go to Israel to make a fucking fool out of yourself, man. I'm sorry for cursing James White. 16, for if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the fathers of the promise, they're holy, right? If you go down, I don't care how many generations, whether they know that they're Israelites or not, which all of us were blinded to who we were. We were all eating pork, whether we were Baptists, Methodists, committing adultery, whatever the hell we were doing, man. We still holy. I said, for if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy, and if the root be holy, so are the branches. 17. And if some of the branches be broken off, the Jews, and thou being a wild olive tree, you got the scripture for me? Wort grafted in among them, and with them partakers of the root and fatness of the olive tree. So how did they become partakers of the root and fatness of the olive tree? Because they were part of that. They were part of that genos. They were part of that gene. Them so-called heathens, the Gentiles that grafted in. Because if you graft something on another person, like a heart transplant, it'll reject it. You got to get the same type, and so forth. There's certain things that you take off of one body. Edomite part, you take something from an Edomite, you put on a Jake, it's going to reject it, man. So the root didn't reject them because they were Israelites.
This is Jeremiah 2:20. For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou saidest, I will not transgress, which upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest playing the harlot. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?
So hold up, wait a minute. You're going to read that again. Read that point again. It says, 17 verse. And if some of the branches be broken off, the Israelites, the Jews that knew that they were the Jews, circumcised, kept the laws, had beards, didn't eat pork, kept the high holy days, and thou being a wild olive tree. What is a wild olive tree? He just read it in Jeremiah. The other Israelites that lost their religion, so to speak, were grafted in among them, and with them partakers of the root and fatness of the olive tree. They ain't talking about no Edomite. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root bear thee. Thou will say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. So now you're saying I'm better than the first fruit. Well, look, you didn't have this for years. So now you're coming back into this. That's why it said to the Jew first, then also to the Greek. To the Jew first, then also to the Gentile. What was it talking about? The Greek and the Gentile? Israelites, man, that are coming back into this. It says, well, because of unbelief, they were broken off. And thou standest by faith. Who received faith? The Israelites. Be not high-minded, but fear. For if the Most High spare not the natural branches, take heed that he also spare not thee. Behold, therefore, the goodness and severity of the Most High on them which fell, severity, cut off. But toward thee, goodness, if thou continue in his goodness, otherwise thou also shalt be cut off.
Eventually, the whole nation was cut off.
Exactly.
Because we all became Gentiles.
We all became Gentiles. 23, it says, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for the Most High is able to graft them in again. Who's he talking about now? The Jews, right? Because the Jews are cut off, but they can be grafted back in again. For if thou were cut off out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to Israel. Now it's talking to all of Israel, whether they're Gentile-minded or not, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. What does it mean by the fullness of the Gentiles be come in? Till all the other Israelites in the Gentile state of mind come into this thing. So now you check out the different camps we got. You got guys in Israel that look just like Edomites, man. We got guys in the different camps, like down there in D.C., that are actually Nigerian, man. Igbo. That's actually in our camp.
The brother in the Philippines.
A brother in the Philippines, yep.
He looks like a straight-up Filipino.
Yep.
He's an Israelite.
Yep. For I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise. I read that already. 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. That's that. So what was he talking about? The wild olive tree grafted in contrary to the tree, the root. You don't bear the root, but the root bear thee. The branches, the lump is holy. All right. So the conclusion is 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. So the Israelite that's of the tribe of Judah that was raised up as an Israelite can't say, you ain't going to make it. They are going to make it. Because at the end of the day, it says that blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles become men. And so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. Now, if it was Esau, so all Israel and the other heathen nations, no. It says, and so all Israel shall be saved, as it is written. There shall come out of Zion the deliverer. Who's the deliverer? Yahweh Shai. And shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. What does Jacob mean? All of Israel. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Asher, Naphtali. For this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sin. Take away whose sins? All the Israelites' sins, man. You see? Now, let's go to Acts, the 15th chapter. To kind of answer this brother's question about the circumcision. Okay, it says Acts 15:1. It says, a certain man which came down from Judea taught the brethren and said, except ye be circumcised after the manner of Moses, ye cannot be saved, which is true. When therefore Paul and Barnabas had no small dissension and disputation with them, they determined that Paul and Barnabas and certain other of them should go up to Jerusalem unto the apostles and elders about this question. So that's what they did. And being brought on their way by the church, they passed through Phoenicia and Samaria, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles. What does it mean by declaring the conversion of the Gentiles? Do me a favor, click on the word conversion. Let's go to the root of that. Declaring the conversion. Conversion meaning to return to the truth, right?
That's right.
But I want to see what the etymology says.
Okay.
It said declaring the conversion of the Gentiles, which we know that these are Israelites. And that's why the whole controversy came up about, well, wait a minute. Okay, we're going to let you Gentiles in here, which we know that you're Israelites. Although you look funny, you dress funny, you didn't get circumcised yet. You go all out of order. So this man was saying, look, you got to get circumcised, man. Mm-hmm. So he said, declaring the conversion of the Gentiles, and they caused great joy unto all the brethren. Now these wasn't no Edomites; they were Israelites. Go ahead, read the definition of conversion.
Okay, the first one is epistropha, and that's for conversion. It says reversion, i.e., example given, morally revolution.
Morally turned. Revolution
back.
means to turn.
That's
You're going this way, and the truth is over here. Righteousness is over here, so you're turning around.
That's right.
There's a voice, but Isaiah 30 and 20. I already thought about that. Popped in my head.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, Ezekiel.
So the conversion is talking about these Israelites whose foreparents taught their children, and their children taught their children, and then they didn't know who the hell they were. They call themselves Greeks or whatever the hell they call themselves.
Right.
So the Jews called them heathen, man.
Mm-hmm. The etymology is epistrepho. Epistrepho, to turn to, transitively to the worship of the true power.
The worship of the true power, which is given to who? Israelites.
The true power.
The true power. That's all we need.
Yeah.
4th verse. And when they were coming to Jerusalem, they were received of the church and the apostles and the elders, and they declared, I'm sorry. Let me go to the 5th verse again. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees. What were the Pharisees? Anytime you see the word Pharisee, these guys were wicked. No, they were not wicked, man. The Pharisees were just a sect. Like the Sadducees, you had the Pharisees, the Sadducees, or the Pharisees and the scribes. It didn't mean that they were wicked, but you had wicked scribes and Pharisees. These Pharisees right here were not wicked. For you dummies out there. 5th verse, Acts 15 and 5. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believe. What did they believe? What does that mean? Would they believe that the sun came up every morning? Did they believe that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west? No, they believed in Yahweh Shai. That's what it means. Saying that it was needful to circumcise them, which they're right. Because when guys came into the camp back in 07, 08, we had, look, brother, are you circumcised? Some of them said, well, I don't know what that means. So, well, look, this means this, and you got to get yourself circumcised. And some of them did it. It took them a month. Some of them had trouble, getting circumcised. But eventually, all of them became circumcised, man. Because you couldn't receive the Torah blessing at the Passover. Okay, it says, I'm sorry, where am I? Oh, 5th verse again. But there rose up certain of the sect of the Pharisees which believed, saying that it was needful to circumcise them and to command them to keep the law of Moses. And the apostles and the elders came together for to consider this matter. And when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, and give me that in was that Matthew 18, the thing that established in heaven, established on the earth. Is that Matthew 18 or 16? Matthew 16, I'm sorry. Matthew 16. And when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up, which was the head disciple, the head apostle, because Yahushua made him the head apostle, and said unto them, men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago the Most High made choice among us that the Gentiles, the Israelites, that were in a Gentile state of mind, by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe. Put a name on it. Cornelius, which he was an Israelite. 8th verse. And the Most High, which knoweth the hearts, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Spirit, even as he did unto us. And put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith. That's Israelites.
Grafting them back into that.
Grafting them back in.
To that olive
now,
tree.
therefore, why tempt ye the Most High to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? But we believe that through the grace of Yahushua HaMashiach, we shall be saved, even as they. So when Yahushua died on the cross, who did he die for? Pursuant to Acts 5:29 and 31, for to give redemption to Israel and forgiveness of sin. Then all the multitude kept silent and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring that miracles and wonders, what miracles and wonders the Most High had wrought among the Gentiles by them. The Gentiles. What does it mean by Gentiles? The Israelite foreigners. 13. And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simon, which is Peter, have declared how the Most High at the first did visit the Gentiles. Cornelius is a key word, key name, to take out of them a people for his name. And to this agree the words of the prophet. This is why I said James went off when he said this. As it is written, after this I will return and will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build it as again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up. Now, that did happen on a certain level with them, but it's going to really happen now. It's happening right now.
Yeah, the tabernacle of David is all the tribes,
all
not just tribes. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Right. That's right. So it's really talking about now.
Yeah.
It says that the residue of men. Now, you notice it didn't say Edom, right? It didn't say Edom. It said that the residue of men might seek after the Lord, which are the Gentiles, which are Israelites, and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith Yahweh, who doeth all these things. Known unto the Most High are all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, are turned to the Most High.
Like now you got guys troubling certain guys just because of the way they look. The Lord Yahweh Shai going to deal with you, man. You're going to trouble a guy just because of the way he looks.
20th verse. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions and idols, and from fornication. Fornication means adultery, and from things strangled, and from blood. And Moses of old time have in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogue or the temple every Sabbath day.